Well, budding concerns tonight over utility services in Baltimore. 3 women out of jail after being arrested in Federal Hill protesting BGE's move to put external gas meters on their homes yesterday.
More on that in a moment. In Southwest Baltimore, one man spending thousands of dollars out of pocket setting up security cameras to catch illegal dumping in his neighborhood and after making numerous calls to 311 for pickups. Fox 45's Keith Daniels spoke to that man tonight and joins us live with his concerns. Keith?
Well, Maxine and Jeff, it's all about keeping neighborhoods like this one clean. Now, city investigators say they rely on motion cameras around the city to help catch those people who are dumping illegally. They say there are at least 90 of those cameras citywide, but tonight a Baltimore businessman is having to rely on his own cameras to catch culprits. At Fabu Sabeno's auto repair shop in Southwest Baltimore, things get dirty behind his business. The illegal dumping in the alley just won't stop.
It causes disease, rats.
He does not want his face to be seen because of security concerns, but he's speaking out, frustrated Fabu.
City government no help. I report everywhere. I'm looking for help. I pay my tax. I respect something good back in the community.
Fabu says it all began back in January. The dumping, then cleanup, more dumping, more cleanup. Jeff, who works for Fabu,
they do pick it up.
Says they've made dozens of calls to 311 to report the piles of debris and the offenders.
We give them all the information they need. We've spent money to get the information they need to catch these people, and they just don't try.
We spend about $3,800 including, almost $4,000 is including everything up. They put the cameras, we can catch and prosecute the person, but nobody prosecuted until now.
We get high HD video zoomed up, 30 times optical zoom on that camera. We have people's faces, tag numbers, probably could read their ID if they took it out, you know, and that's still not enough.
A frustrated business owner spending his own money to gather video evidence for investigators.
Right there, that's the camera right there. Right here.
Fabu says several offenders were caught on camera recently.
Right here.
The video turned over to the city, he says, 2 weeks ago. We reached out to the Department of Public Works for comment. So far, no reply. Meanwhile, the city has said they have cameras in some hotspots to help catch those who dump illegally. But they say if residents see something, they should say something. Get the offender's license plate number and call 311. Like Fabu,
I spend a lot of money for cameras,
who also has video. Well, Fabu says he was actually assaulted by one offender he confronted, struck by the man's vehicle. Now, police confirmed that incident. They say that offender did face criminal charges. Well, live tonight, Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
Thank you, Keith. 3 women arrested Thursday for protesting BGE utility work in Federal Hill are all back home tonight after spending the night in central booking. This community's frustration with BGE has been brewing for months, and tonight an attorney for the demonstrators says the way Baltimore police treated them was unacceptable.
This was a show of force. It was them trying to bully these residents into getting in line. BG&E may be accustomed to having everybody else dance to their song, but these residents are not going to do it.
Fox 45's Amy Simpson has the fallout from Federal Hill and why some are frustrated how the city resolved these protests.
And you are in violation of criminal law Title 6, 304A, interfering with a public utility.
The tense moments played out live on television Thursday afternoon.
Excuse me, I need you to back up. Media, out of the street as well. Maybe you're under arrest.
Baltimore women had their hands zip tied before being loaded into the back of a police van.
We're not doing this.
Follow her.
Arrested for protesting BGE's work to install external gas regulators, something the utility company insists is for safety and improved gas distribution across the city.
It's really gross what happened yesterday.
We're going that way.
Baltimore police arresting Sandra Seward of Federal Hill, Magdalena Fitzsimmons of Washington Hill,
Film this. What are you doing to her?
and Claudia Tolles of Fells Point for allegedly tampering with gas equipment, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey a lawful order.
They spent last night in prison. for standing up for their rights and for the rights of others.
Those 3 women reportedly released from custody around noon today. Their attorney calling the charges laughable.
You know, they were protesting on a public street, standing up for their neighbor. The fact that they were charged with disorderly conduct, I mean, I haven't seen more calm and polite protesters.
But Thursday's standoff remained peaceful until just before the arrests. More than a dozen utility workers standing by all day. These Baltimoreans have been outspoken for months, strongly against BGE's work to install external meters across the city, alleging the company will use this construction as a guise to raise rates. But this week's standoff, with the group intentionally blocking crews from digging up Warren Ave, came after they said 4 neighbors had their gas shut off abruptly.
That pamphlet on the door, 4 residents got between 9 and 10 a.m. By lunchtime, their gas was out. They're supposed to give 14 days notice.
What we're saying is you don't have the right to illegally shut off the gas to our neighbors.
Today, Fox 45 News asking BGE to respond, knowing residents are so strongly opposed to the project that they're willing to be arrested. BGE said it has nothing more to add today, after saying in part yesterday, residents purposefully entered its work site, putting contractors at risk of injury. Neighbors in Federal Hill said they were in shock after witnessing the arrests play out in front of them.
The city leadership and the police department are here to protect us and to be our advocates, and none of that occurred today.
Questioning the city's response when they feel other problems continue to fester in Baltimore.
I think that everybody's time could be better spent dealing with the real issues that we have in this city.
Today, we also asked Mayor Brandon Scott's office and Acting Commissioner Rich Worley if this was an appropriate use of Baltimore police resources to resolve a peaceful demonstration. That question was ignored. The pair addressing the standoff at a press conference this afternoon.
BPD did their work. Monsi and the mayor's office of neighborhood did their work of explaining that to folks. And then, unfortunately, BPD had to take action after warnings. Folks can protest. They could have went across the street. They can protest until the cows come home.
All they had to do was move to the left or the right and give them access to the property and where they needed to work, and we would not have done anything.
Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
Well, the group has been pushing back against BGE for months. They're planning on filing a restraining order asking a judge to pause the installation of the external gas meters and valves. Amy mentioned concerns over how BPD is allocating its resources, those issues highlighted by a shortage of more than 500 officers within the department. Acting Commissioner Richard Worley says the department is struggling to bring in new recruits.
We're not getting 100 officers anytime soon. I think the next class has only got 20 or 22 in it.
How are we thinking about addressing these issues? Because I can tell you folks are really frustrated, and we can't just say that we're working on it. It takes time.
BPD hopes the shortage won't inhibit their ability to keep crime in check this summer. One critical tool in doing so is City State's Attorney Ivan Bates' new citation docket designed to go after low-level or quality-of-life crimes here in Baltimore. But Fox 45's Vincent Hill reports some are questioning if BPD is actually issuing those citations. Vincent?
Yeah, Maxine, that first docket is scheduled for July 17th, but questions remain on just how many of those quality of life citations have been issued out.
A promise of a new day in Baltimore by City State's Attorney Ivan Bates.
Fundamentally changing attitudes and creating personal responsibility so minor offenses don't lead to more severe crimes and consequences.
His new citation docket, which goes after quality of life low-level crimes like open-air drug markets, now entering its second week.
I want to circle back to the shooting I had in my district.
But this week at City Hall, questions about the effectiveness of the plan and if it's actually being enforced.
Some of the frustrations that folks in the room had well before the shooting even happened were around enforcement of open-air drug markets, drug corners, the loitering that kind of goes on and continues to be an issue.
Councilman Mark Conway pressing BPD after a community meeting shortly after a mass shooting left 6 people injured. Acting Commissioner Richard Worley acknowledging the problem.
That is an area where we have to address the open-air drug markets. We have the ability to use citations now.
But the Chief of Patrol, Kevin Jones, giving a difference of opinion.
This is for me, an opportunity for
our neighborhood coordinating officers, our supervisors to get engaged with them. Everything does not have to result in enforcement.
That answer not sitting well with Councilman Conway.
At what point do we say enough is enough?
Former City Council President Lawrence Bell, who deals with panhandlers outside his front door, agrees.
The quality of life is disintegrated.
Saying he's witnessed police ignoring crimes blatantly taking place in plain sight.
Police officers should not just drive by. If they see something that is illegal, they see people who are getting high in public, who are doing other things, stop them. So what is happening, there is an attitude that anything goes.
Bell, who created the Public Safety Committee during his time at City Hall, says Bates's plan will only work if it's being carried out.
Now, we did reach out to BPD on Thursday to find out how many of those citations have been issued. They did not respond, so we sent our request to the district court, and we are awaiting those numbers. For now, we're live in Baltimore. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
I'm Maxine Stryker. Thanks for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, take a moment to subscribe to our channel.